بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياكم الله جميعا في هذا الويبينار, if we may call it, about the adapting to virtual learning in the time of the COVID-19. أنا اسمي ياسر الأصقع. أنا Program Director للإمرجنسي ميديسن في جامعة الملك سعود في الرياض. وبيكون معي الدكتور عمرو جمال, استشاري Family Medicine and Medical Informatics, and the Chairman of Family Medicine and Community Medicine Department in King Saud University. Also, we're going to have Ms. Bashair Al-Yusfi, the Director of E-Learning, and Ms. Sindus Al-Dlayim, Specialist in the Training Development in the Saudi Commission for Health Specialties. The things we're going to talk about today, which is inshallah going to be around 1 hour, including discussion, and the time, whether it's going to be longer or shorter, will depend on the interaction that you guys have with us. If you all notice that you have a Q&A button at the bottom of your screens. If you have any question during the presentation, you can post that question there. And after all the presentations, we're going to answer as many as possible. So the first thing we're going to do today is give the mic to Dr. Amr Jamal, who's going to take us through a journey from his experience about some medical training tools and applications. Bismillah, Dr. Amr, تفضل.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسعد الله مساءكم جميعا. طيب، بسم الله، الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. شكرا دكتور ياسر على التقديم، وشكرا للإدارة التنفيذية للتدريب في الهيئة على الاستضافة. يعني الحمد لله على كل حال. We are talking now in the era of the COVID-19. And it's a crisis management currently. And this is a part of our role in the Saudi Commission for Health Specialties, the training part, and how to adapt with the current situation that we have. It's a short webinar presentation. Unfortunately, it will not be interactive at the beginning, but there will be an interaction later on. So keep your questions in the questions and answers. Bismillah. At the beginning, there is a disclosure. I will present many commercial tools available. So there is many commercial tools available over here. لحظة. أتمنى الصوت يكون واضح الآن. كان في بعض التعليقات الصوت غير واضح. الصوت ما كان واضح. So to beginning, as a disclosure, I don't have any conflict of interest with any of the softwares that were present in this presentation. This is the mission of the Saudi Commission for Health Specialties. هو تمكينكم بحيث إنه يكون يعني تقود تعزيز الصحة الموجود في البلد بإنسانية وكفاءة. This workshop agenda will be into 3 parts. At the beginning, we will review quickly the learning objectives and learning styles. Then we will explore some of the tools and apps available for sharing resources and for activities and for the assessments. Then how to choose the appropriate technology. That will be the part 3. So in part 1, let's quickly go and review the learning objectives and learning styles. As we know that we have 3 main domains of the learning objectives: the cognitive objectives related to knowledge, the psychomotor skills, and the affectives, emotions, feelings, attitudes. So in the cognitive learning objectives, all of us knows the Bloom's taxonomy available, the revised one. And these are the levels that we have. Starting from the base, we have the remembering, just the knowledge, remembering as they are. Then we have higher levels of the knowledge objectives, such as the understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. So we have to keep that in mind when choosing the proper technology, either for the how to interact or how to assess. And these are the Bloom's taxonomy and the verbs that we can use in writing the objectives, the knowledge-related objectives. Then we have the psychomotors, the skills objectives. And this is a big challenge in the era of the virtual training. So it's not easy. It's not just use such as Zoom webinar and conduct webinars to disseminate the knowledge. It needs hands-on training available, and we will talk about some of these virtual solutions related to the skills learning objectives. Then we have the attitudes. The effective learning objectives, it's much more difficult to train and to assess using the technology, but there are some solutions that we will talk about. Then we have the learning styles. Each one of us has got his or her own learning style, and we need to address that when choosing the technology suitable for training and interacting, and also the assessment. So some people, they have got the sensory input and the perceptions, or the organizations, understanding, processing. There are many models for the learning styles. You can Google them, and this one is one of them. I did it myself. By the way, this seminar is recorded, and it will be posted in the Saudi Commission website for further reference, with the links available in this presentation. So this is my learning style, and it shows that whether that visual, verbal, sensory, intuitive. So we are not in the fancy that each trainer or program director assess the learning style of the residents, but we have to adapt according to the learning styles available in general. And that's raised the term of the adaptive learning. And adaptive learning could be manual or could be using the computers, especially the intelligent adaptive learning. And there are some theories about that. We can explore it later on. We have a published article about the mobile phone use among the residents available in Saudi Arabia. That's 2016, and it showed some of the challenges that faced using technology, especially the smartphone technologies, among the medical residents across all the medical specialties that we have. Most of the residents, they use it for the medication references in 82%. There are people for the residents or trainees for medical references use, medical calculations, medical photography, and further. We have also, that's the main challenges that residents face in using the technology is related to short battery life of their smartphones, then the available of the poor mobile networks and the Wi-Fi signals. So for us as trainers and program directors, that we have to assure the accessibility of the technology that we afford to our residents. So it's not wise or acceptable that we ask people to use the technology while it's not accessible for them. The most challenge that they face is the distraction, that the use of the mobile technologies in learning distract them from their service and tasks performing. But that's a quick about the theory. Let's move about the practice now to how select the appropriate resource sharing technologies or solutions and activity solutions, and also assessment solutions. For the sharing the content, we have different type of contents. Could be just text, such as the clinical practice guidelines, textbooks, articles, or the audio and video and multimedia. So I don't assume that there are some other types of the content to be shared, but we can discuss in the that in the questions and answer section at the end. Traditional methods such as the sharing the paper handouts, these are some of the possible issues that we have. So some of the handouts are not critical to print and might waste paper, and usually we don't. We have a problem in archiving them and how to retrieve them. And also the face-to-face lectures. Currently, the Saudi Commission has got their own instructions to stop the face-to-face meetings, especially in large volume meetings. So there is also that we have the webinars that we will talk and the virtual meetings that we'll talk about them later on. Some of the examples that we have for shared tools, shared Dropbox or shared Google Drives or OneDrive folders. Here in the right, you can find some of the an example that we have in the family medicine residency program, shared Dropbox folder for all of the materials available that can be uploaded to a Dropbox. Also, that is advisable to have messaging group, especially that's the, for example, WhatsApp group, Slack group, Telegram group. Each one of them has got its own pros and cons. So, for example, the WhatsApp, people usually use it for social life. That will distract them using the WhatsApp for the educational purposes. But this is the solution that people use in daily life. And Slack is only for the professional use, and it's available, easy to use, and it has got the advantage that can be used in desktops, regardless of the availability of the phone. And WhatsApp, it requires that the connection of the mobile at the same time. There are learning management systems, but many of the institutes, they don't have got the luxury of available of the learning management systems, such as the academic institutes. But there are many learning management systems that are free, available, and can be used in any scale. One of the models of sharing the resources is the use of the podcast. Podcast can be available through voice and video also. So it's nice that we have in our training programs some of the podcasts where that the trainers and residents share of their own educational materials and resources. And many have used that, and there are some of the examples available. You can look for them. These are, for example, the family medicine related podcasts available. Now let's talk about the resources available for COVID-19 per se. We have in Saudi Commission website, we have the e-core courses. There are 4 courses available. Each course range from 1.5 hours to 2 hours. We have the one related to the infection prevention and control, which is related currently to the COVID-19, and also the patient safety. You can have these courses available for free, get the credit hours posted for them, and they are very useful from ecore.saudicommission.org. المركز الوطني للوقاية من الأمراض, the Saudi CDC, they have got also in their website, the covid19.cdc.moh.org. They have a specific page for the professionals and health workers, including many materials related to the COVID-19. These are some of the resources that we advise our trainers and trainees to have and look and study. WHO have got a course related, online course for the COVID-19, very useful, available. Just Google for it, COVID-19 WHO course, 100% free, 100% online course. Coursera, there is a course. There is a course recently posted in the 20th of March. It's around 19 hours course with several modules that start from the basics of the epidemiology. Very useful, and we advise our residents to take this course. We finished from the first part, or the first part of the second part, sharing the resources. Now, the second part of the second part is the facilitating the activities. كيف يتحاور يعني يكون في عندنا activities available in the training. Activities هذه could be individual, one-to-one. It could be small groups, up to 3 to 10 maximum, and the large groups. Such as this webinar is one of the activities that we have. بس بعد ما يكون archived or uploaded, and we can have it as a reference in the future, that will be a resource sharing. هذه some of the يعني traditional methods and the issues related to it, and how we can convert it to a virtual class with the concept of the social distancing that we have. So the examples of the activities that we have and available with the links we have it. In the related to the skills, and it's a challenge. لكن there are some solutions available, such as the extended reality solutions. The extended reality solution is a term that combines 3 subterms. اللي هو virtual reality. Virtual reality, it's available some of the skills lab, which is detach you from the reality, and you will have the 3D models that you can interact with, especially in the skills related to procedures, also for learning the anatomy, some of the operations, some of using the scopes available. All of that can be trained and assist using the virtual reality. Augmented reality is the reality available, but augmented with some of the labels. فهذه ما تلغي الرياليتي تكون موجودة, such as the Google glasses. Currently we have the Microsoft Looms available, and there are some of the medical training related uses of the augmented reality available. Mixed reality, or they call it augmented virtuality, combine both of them. So تكون في الواقع الحقيقي لكن تضيف عليها some of the virtual reality available in 3-dimensional. So especially in studying the anatomy or the pathoanatomy, that is one of the solutions available related to the skills. And to assess the performance, we have, it could be either written, such as the tests, quizzes, essays, the orals, such as the interviews. One of the available solutions that we have related to that is the interviews using the Zooms, Skypes, FaceTime, and the manual assessment, such as the procedures or the physical examinations. The portfolio, or the electronic portfolio, is one of the solutions that we have both for formative assessment and also to enhance learning and exploring the learning needs that we have. And these some of the solutions available, and you have the link in the website, which will be available for you. Let's الآن talk about how to choose the appropriate technology. وأتوقع إنه هذا الفروت of this presentation or this webinar. Some of the text technologies available could be the WhatsApp groups, could be using the wikis or the Google documents that we have. هذه one of the appropriate technologies that we have. You have to assess, discuss in the group, involve the trainees and trainers, and use the suitable technology related to the materials that you need and the specialty, the norm of the specialty that you have. Many of the specialties, they use wikis, either Wikipedia, and that will be directed to the public, or you can have your own wiki available. One of the websites that afford free wikis is the PP Works. Some of the audio technologies for sharing the content, we have the podcast, which is available, but the limitation is that is only available on the Apple devices, iDevices. And also that we have the video sharing. It could be for your own program or your own training center program, have your own YouTube channel that the residents can participate in conducting lectures related to that. And there is the YouTube education. Just type YouTube education, and there is a special YouTube website for the education. هذه الآن الريسورسز that we have related to the resources solutions. لما تكون هنا على اليمين mostly are digital, هنا physical, which we could not use nowadays في classrooms or the lecture venues. الأب is the synchronous. Synchronous معناها متزامن, live at the same time, exactly as we're doing right now through the Zoom webinar. But lower is the asynchronous, تكون غير متزامنة. فما يكون نفس الترينر والtrainees live in the same time. It could be like the recorded lectures. It could be like the shared Dropbox folders, for example. هنا عندنا تحت في الزاوية في individual learning, and up we have got the collaborative learning. Most of them they are individual learning solutions and asynchronous solutions available to share the resources. هذا كله كيف إنه نشارك resources and materials across the related to the training. البارت الثاني using the technology for the interactivity. Many. We'll talk about the Zoom مع بشار يوسف يتكلم عنها, solutions that will be available from the Saudi Commission related to the Zoom, وثم بيكون في discussion between me and Yasser how to get oriented how to use Zoom. Zoom one of the best in quality available. طبعا في the free available solution يعطيك لحد 40 minutes, but you can let 40 minutes and up to 100 participants available. We'll talk about later on it. So the Commission will afford that for free for the training programs. How to use the technology for the interactivity, some of the text-based technologies such as the Google Documents, and currently there is the Google Classrooms. It's a mini learning management system available, but in a form of learning, in a form of the sharing the documents between groups. I advise to explore the إذا كان classroom Googles could be utilized in the training programs that you have. And here are some of the multimedia technologies for interactions. The multimedia could be just a WhatsApp group that you have, and you can share multimedia in asynchronous way using that. But you can also use some of the available solutions over here listed in the list. These are some of the activities, tools, and websites. And some of them are synchronous, others are asynchronous, are plotted in this diagram. For the assessment, we have either that we have quizzes, and the quizzes will assess the knowledge. It could be through the learning management system if it's available, such as Blackboard, Moodle, Sakai, or it could be through the web surveys. It could be just a simple SurveyMonkey, Google Forms. but you have to choose an MCQs that are suitable to be open books. We have a third solution, which is the secured exam softwares, such as the ExamSoft, where the students can have the exams at their homes with the use of cameras from the front and the back to detect any motion. But we can also have other modalities of assessments, such as the assignments, forums, wikis, tweets related to the specialty. It could be that there is a Twitter account for the training center and their program related to the activities that they have, and also some of the materials related scientifically to the specialty. Some of the video clips. مثلا, we can ask residents to have some of the educational materials to the public related to their specialties. The logbox could be through the 145. Also, can we use Google Documents or Google Spreadsheets? Virtual labs using the one of the available solutions is the DXR. Many other solutions available for virtual labs assessment. We have also some of the games, simulations. We can use Kahoot either in the class or each one is available away distantly. E-portfolios such as the 145, and there are some other solutions available for free. You can Google them. And flashcards such as the Quizlet, very beneficial for both the learning and assessment. And these are the plotting of the assessment available tools, and all of the tools available together. Before that, I move to the final comments. I will give the mic to Yasser to carry on.
طيب يعطيك العافية دكتور عمرو. This is a very quick overview. أنا بس يهمني جدا إنه الأخوة والأخوات اللي معانا في الويبينار يفهمون إنه this is not intended as an educational tool where يعني إحنا مو قاعدين نحاول نعلمكم how to use everything. الفكرة إنه إحنا this is a quick fix for an issue that happened بسبب إن إحنا الآن مضطرين نوقف الفيس تو فيس. ف أسهل شيء موجود وأسهل شيء إحنا لقيناه في الفترة الحالية هو الزوم لأسباب كثيرة، منها إنه affordable جدا affordable، ومنها إنه it's very easy to use وإنه it's high quality. ف for an example أنا استخدمت وأتوقع كثير من الناس الحضور استخدموا الزوم for interviewing، والآن قاعدين نسوي a small survey حتى للناس اللي we interviewed في selection interviews للemergency medicine on their perception and their feeling about having interviews over Zoom or Skype versus face-to-face. I've noticed that they are much more comfortable لأنهم they are in their own environment, in their own houses, which was much faster to me. I interviewed 70 in one day rather than where we used to have 30 to 35 per one day. That was our maximum capacity. طبعا في drawbacks منها إنه بعض الناس يقول لك أنا I need to see them face to face. I need to see how they act, their body language. Most of this you can see in the face to face. I mean in the Zoom or in the Skype. الشيء الثاني إنه we try to use Zoom in our academic activity, and the feedback is fantastic from the residents. We can do attendance, we can track attention, and we can have our question and answers like we're having now. And maybe after Ms. Sundus and Ms. Bashir have their presentation, we come back to the question and answer, to answer all your questions. أنا الناس اللي يسألون there is no picture, there is no picture now. There is no picture now. We're going now to transition into the next point, which is what is the Saudi Commission for Health Specialty online e-learning resources available, which is the answer to the first question اللي سألته الدكتورة ياسمين يوسف, اللي هو is Saudi Commission providing any of these applications? So for now, we are going to provide Zoom as a first step, and وما أتوقع إنه حيكون في أي عائق من أننا نستخدم more and more apps إذا احتجنا. مس سندس تفضلي.
مساء الخير جميعاً، معكم سندس فليم، أخصائي تطوير تدريب الإدارة التنفيذية للتدريب. اليوم بإذن الله بنتكلم عن المبادرة اللي بنقدمها لدعم الأنشطة الأكاديمية عن بعد، وهي خدمة توفير اتصال مرئي. طبعاً هذا الإعلان فيه الباركود، في الباركود لو تمسحونه بتطلع لكم اللي هي بيطلع لكم النموذج فيه الاسم الاجتماع، في وقت الاجتماع، وفيه الوقت البديل للاجتماع. طبعاً الخدمة هذه يمكن لمدراء البرامج طلبها، بس أهم شيء إنه تطلبونها قبلها ب24 ساعة على الأقل علشان نقدر ننسقها. تبينون اسم الاجتماع، تبينون الوقت المحدد والبريد الإلكتروني للمنسق اللي بينسق الاجتماع. أول ما تقدمون الطلب عن طريق إيميل virtual.training@cfhs.org.sa بيوصلكم إيميل تأكيد الطلب. هذا النموذج، أول شيء اسم مقدم الطلب، البريد الإلكتروني لمقدم الطلب، رقم الجوال، اسم البرنامج أو اسم الاجتماع، نوع البرنامج مكتمل أو مشترك، المركز التدريبي، وطبيعة النشاط half day أو full day أو المقابلات شخصية. وفي حال كان طبيعة النشاط آخر اختاروا على قدر. هنا عنوان نشاط، هنا اليوم المفضل للنشاط، وهنا الوقت المفضل من 8 ل 12 صباحاً أو من 1 ل 4 أو من 5 ل 9. في حال كان الوقت ساعة أو ساعتين تقدرون تبينونها بأذر. وهنا اليوم البديل للاجتماع.
أخت سندس معلش ستوب سكرين شيرينج.
أوكي.
أوكي تقدر تكملي، شكرا.
أوكي. فهذا النموذج تقدرون ترسلون لنا بس على الإيميل، تعبون نموذج وبيوصلنا إن شاء الله على الإيميل طلبكم، وبإذن الله بنخدمكم. الله يعطيكم العافية جميعا.
إذا تنتظروني شوي معليش لين نخلص الأذان عندي ونرجع نكمل. طيب السلام عليكم مرة ثانية. أعتذر بس لأنه الأذان حيدخل على الصوت عندكم وما تقدروا تسمعوني كويس. بس الآن الخدمة هذه الفكرة هي إنه الهيئة عندها أكاونتس على نظام زوم، وحنتيح لكم إنكم أنتم كأنكم تحجزون سلوتس عليها. الأوبشن الثاني إنه أنتم تقدرون تستخدمون الميتينجز إذا كانت فري، أو الفري أكاونت، إنك أنت تسوي فري أكاونت لك أنت as a program director or as a chief resident, and then you can use it. But you need to keep in mind إنه it's a 40-minute limit. فsometimes it's worth investing إنك أنت الاشتراك الشهري تقريبا $14 في الشهر أو $150 في السنة. So if you want to do a pro you can do it, or تقدر تستخدم الميزات اللي موجودة عن طريق هيئة التخصصات. في بعض الاوبشنز اللي فعلا تحسن الاكسبيرينس اذا انت تسوي انترفيو، واذا كان في رغبه من بعض الاخوان او الاخوات اللي موجودين معانا الان ان نسوي عليها teaching separate بعدين على how to use Zoom, we can do it. So one of the examples اللي you should use in the interviews انك you should activate the waiting room feature. الwaiting room feature حتخلي اي احد يدخل على الميتنج يروح على الويتنج روم، بعدين انت تقدر تدخلهم one by one to do the interview and then take them out. Versus if you don't activate this feature, people are going to join the meeting immediately, which is something you don't want in the interviews. الشيء الثاني, you should ask your participants to write their names properly. ما مثلا تيجي تكتب ياسر's iPad، هذا اللي حيطلع اوتوماتيكلي، ولا ياسر's iPhone، وهذا شيء ما نبغاه. لا، انت تبي يكونوا الناس كاتبين their names properly. وهذه تسويها both in interviews or if you're going to do use your meetings for academic activity. لانك اذا بتستخدم الميتنج الاكاديميك اكتيفيتي سواء ميتنج ولا ويبينار، والان حنجاوب على ايش الفرق بين الميتنج والويبينار. If people write their names appropriately تقدر آخر الميتنج تطبع attendance sheet بحيث إنك أنت تقدر تسجله عندك as إنه هو attended and who not. وهذه واحدة من الناس اللي تعتقد إنها عائق إنك أنت you do your replace your didactic اللي هي face to face المحاضرات والacademic activity بإنك أنت تستخدمها عن طريق الزوم. الفيتشر الثالث اللي جدا ممتاز إنه you can when you're doing screen share you can also use a whiteboard. الوايت هذه كأنها شاشة بيضاء يقدر الناس يستخدمونها. أنت as a presenter تقدر تستخدمها you can write notes where people can see, أو إذا كان في discussion people can see it while we're having this ongoing discussion. الفيتشر الرابع اللي فعلا كمان ممكن يحسن من الميتنج هو البريك اوت رومز. البريك اوت رومز هي انك انت تقدر تقسم الحضور حقينك الى مجموعات اصغر بحيث انهم يقدرون يتناقشون بينهم وبين بعض. فكل هذه الفيتشرز موجوده على زوم، وفعلا تقدر تحسن الطريقه اللي احنا نسوي فيها الميتينجز، بالذات انه لان الان ما نقدر نسويها فيس تو فيس. كنت ابغى اسال دكتور عمرو بس اذا ممكن ايش الفرق بين الويبينار فيتشر ولا الميتنج فيتشر؟
شكرا ياسر. الزوم في عنده الميتينجز وفي عنده الويبينارز وفي عنده كذلك اللي هو الرومز. هذه كل واحده منها الغرض يختلف عن الاخر. الميتينجز تو ريبليس الميتنج، يصير فيرتشوال ميتنج. العدد اذا كان شخص لشخص ممكن يكون العدد مفتوح، الوقت مفتوح في الحساب الفري، لكن هي الان وفرته مجانا. الويبينار ما هم بارتيسيبنتس، هم عباره عن هوست وبانلست واودينس. فمثل الوضع الان، هذا الان احنا في ويبينار، ففي الموجود الهوست واحد رئيسي، البانلست اللي هم الناس اللي ممكن يشاركوا شير سكرين، يشاركوا الصوت، يشاركوا الفيديو. البقيه يكونوا اتنديز. الاتنديز هذول ممكن يكون عندهم question and answer ما في شغله اسمها question and answer في الميتينجز. وممكن يكون الهوست او الواحد من البانالست يسوي unmute لاني of the attendees حتى انه يشاركوا. الويبينارز ممكن توصل لحد 10,000 انه عدد الحضور على حسب الاشتراك وقيمته. الاشتراك اللي موجود في الهيئه اللي ممكن تستخدمه لحد 1000. فممكن اي واحد فيكم يحتاج انه يسوي ويبينار في المستقبل، لانه ممكن لحد الحضور انه ممكن يصل الى 1000. حاليا عندي مثلا الان الظاهر انه عدد الحضور الفعلي الان 230. الاتنديز ما يقدر يشوف مين حاضر ومين ما هو حاضر، ممكن يشوف اسمائهم في الكويستشن اند انسر، ما يقدر يشوف العدد الحاضرين. لكن اللي بيصير في اللي هو الميتينجز كلهم بارتيسيبنتس، كلهم ممكن يشاركوا الفيديو والاوديو والشير سكرين، كل واحد يشوف مين الثاني اللي يكون موجود. فهذا الفرق الرئيسي بين الميتينجز اجتماعات افتراضيه والويبينارز.
طبعا في there are some questions about logistics of booking. If Ms. Sundus can hear me, I will be asking some questions. So are the Zoom slots on the SADU Commission limited? Yes, they are limited, but I'm sure that we can expand to accommodate whoever wants to come on. Next question is, can chief residents do the booking? Yes, chief residents can do the booking for the Zoom slots. And I see some questions asking for whether or not they can do multiple free accounts to switch between them once time is over. Yes, you can, but you will lose everyone who was there. When the meeting is ended, everyone needs to register again in the meeting. So before the meeting ends, you just send the new meeting number or the ID number of the meeting so they can join again and again and again. To me, it's not worth the hassle, but it's up to you. The maximum number of attendees for the free account is 100. For the pro account is 100. In the Saudi Commission, I believe that for most accounts it's 100, but they can go and they have the webinar account which can go up to 1,000. So Dr. Hassan is asking, what module can we use for the interviews? For the best way to use, or the best method to use for the interview is the meeting module. Use the meeting, and before you start the meeting, while you're setting up the meeting, activate the waiting room feature. And by that, everyone from your candidates are going to join the waiting room. So what you can do is, and I can share this later on if you guys want. So what we did is we emailed all our candidates. Let's say we have 100 candidates. So I emailed them times. So I said 1 to 10, please come in this for candidates A to Z, let's say. The first 10 candidates over this hour, the second 10 candidates over this hour, the third 10 candidates over this hour. So you'll have 5, 6, 7, or 8 people waiting in the waiting room. You can bring them in one by one, do the interview, then remove them, do the interview, then remove them from the room. So this is the method that we've been using. I would love if anyone has more experience or other options. I would love if someone can share this with us, whether here in the questions or via email later on. Another question, is this webinar going to be recorded? Yes, it will be recorded, hopefully not edited a lot. We had some technical issues here and there, and then inshallah it's going to be posted. Next question is, if we have 2 academic activities in the same time, can the Saudi Commission afford it? Yes, if you can book the slots for 2 accounts, Saudi Commission will provide it. So can you show us how to track attendance and interaction? I think if we can share the screen. I will, one of the first thing is you need to separate between the Zoom app that you download in your computer and the online account. every editing you need to do and everything you change in the features, you do on the online account. The first thing you do, and you can see in the screen, the first thing you do when you go to your, when you schedule the meeting, you need to make the registration mandatory. So when you click on schedule the meeting, and then you just make the registration mandatory. If خليت registration required here, then everyone who comes in the meeting is going to write their name. And at the end of the meeting, you can print it out as a report. You can show it, Dr. Amr, only if you have old meetings here.
Okay, so let's go for the, because I don't have a meeting right now here in this account. We can go for the settings. I don't have
previous meetings. You go to meeting, previous meetings, and if you have, so like here, if you have previous meeting, you click on it, and then at the bottom, so here we cannot see it because it wasn't, registration was not required. If registration was required, you will find it here. You will find all the attendees, and you will find an option to export it as an Excel sheet with detailed of when did they log in, when did they log out, how many minutes were they in the meeting.
One of the solutions available with dashboard. The dashboard can show you active meetings and active users, how many minutes each users, how many minutes they did use it, the location of each of the participants available. You can download detailed reports from over here. The devices use it. And for example, over here, 33% they access the meetings through the iPhones, 23% from iPads. There is the max 15%. So all of this dashboard available for people that they can have details about the حتى recording كم اللي عندك مثلا هنا 25 gigabytes, how much did you use from that?
There are multiple questions here about can you show us how can we add the waiting room?
Okay.
لأنه هذا شكله corporate account. So so you go to account management, account setting, and then in the account setting you go, it's easier to just search for waiting and you will find it. In the account setting, you go all the way down and then activate waiting room. Once you activate waiting room, now any meeting you do, all the attendees are going to go into the waiting room. Don't forget to switch it back if you're going to have regular meetings.
Here about the reports that you can generate from the account management, then down to the reports. Then from the meetings, these are previous meetings, and you can generate from here the reports. You can search from over here, and once that you can generate all the registrants for each meeting. Okay, had a detailed report that we have. That will show you who attended from what time until what time.
نرجع مرة ثانية. We'll go back to the interviews. More questions are there about interviews. So what if we have more than one committee? What if we have 3 committees that we usually do in 3 separate rooms, where the candidate would go into this committee, then this committee, then that. So the candidate will have to go through all the 3 committees. So if you have to do this, so you send the candidate link to all 3, and you tell him or her to go into the first one, and then at the end of this meeting, you instruct him to log out and then log in back to the second one, and so on. But if you are going to do 3 separate committees and each committee is going to interview separate candidates, like each one is going to interview 50 candidates if you have a huge number. So it's simply create 3 accounts with 3 ID numbers, and you send to each certain number of candidates the room that they are going to be using.
Oh, there is a special trick related to the interviews. Interviews is different than the meetings and webinar. Don't have one link to the meeting for the interviews. Otherwise, you will find 2 interviewees in the same time. So make a special ID for each one of them. فكل resident أو كل applicant يكون عنده ID منفصل عن الثاني. وإلا حيطلع لك الاثنين في نفس الانترفيو، ولا بسوي انترفيو الواحد والثاني جالس يسمع. فهذه التريك خلوها في بالكم، يعني create a unique link for each one. ما يحتاج انه يكون الكانديديت الداخل انه ريجستر وكرييت يوزر نيم وباسورد، ما يحتاج، فقط انه يضغط على اللينك اللي رسلت له اياه باي واتساب ولا باي ايميل.
Next question is can we prevent candidates from recording the meetings?
الهوست عنده التحكم فيه بالكامل. طبعا ما يقدر يسوي عن طريق الزوم نفسه، لكن in English okay. So the candidate, him or herself, cannot have the recording from the Zoom application, but there are some other يعني third party solutions. From there, if they are accessing the interview through their phones, they can have the video recording of their phones. We could not prevent that.
Yeah, so Zoom can prevent, you can prevent candidates from recording via Zoom, but if they have other screen capturing applications, you cannot prevent them, unfortunately. So you should be careful of what you say during the interview, I guess. Yes. And again, I'm offering that I think we should if you give me 1 second, I'll just see if Ms. Bashar is with us.
أهلين دكتور ياسر، معاكم. السلام عليكم.
Should I go with the
I think we're going to send you all. We're going to post this on the Saudi Commission website, which is a very small, very quick manual that was prepared by the Saudi Commission for Health Specialty on how to use Zoom as a host and how to use Zoom as a guest. I will post the link. I will post the link on the screen very soon. We'll go back to questions. طيب دكتور عمرو, can each member present any material like slides or videos in the same meeting, or only the host can present it?
في الميتينجز each one they can share their own screen, they can share For example, we had with the undergraduate training virtual class for using the SPSS, the medical research course. So it's not only restricted to the PowerPoint or presentations. Anything that's available in your desktop or in your camera can be presented and can be shared from any of the participants. This is in the meetings. In webinars, the attendees, they can just raise their hand, put question and answers, and can speak if the host unmute them. But any attendee can be upgraded to a panelist and vice versa.
For people in Bahrain, yes, you can. Yes, you can request it as long as you are linked with the Saudi Commission. طيب مس بشار اليوسفي تفضلي.
السلام عليكم يعطيكم العافية جميعا. Hope all of you guys and your families are staying well and safe in this time of crisis. So I would only take 5 minutes of your time. I would like to introduce you quickly to the e-learning resources available by Saudi Commission. What I'm gonna offer you now is on-demand courses in different specialties, and also the access to e-library, in which we host a number of databases available for free for all trainees and all trainers. So I'll start with the e-library. So the e-library offers free access to medical databases subscriptions. And we have over 7,000 journals, and we have over 18 databases. We have NEJM, Ovid, Clinical Key, access to JAMA network, AAP for pediatrics. The e-learning, the databases available in the e-library are actually recommended by the scientific committees. And whenever there's a database that you would like the commission to provide you through e-library, please contact us. Let us know. Contact your scientific committee and let them know that you guys need this database. They will contact us, and then we can provide it for free. We also offer promotions for different services, such as UpToDate. And the promotion that we offer for UpToDate, we're offering a 67% discount to UpToDate subscription. So trainees have to pay only $250 for their UpToDate subscription. I will show you how to access it from the e-library in a minute. So I'll just go quickly over the main page. It contains a lot of features. It contains the quick search. You can search through the journals from A to Z list. You could also find all the services and the promotions through the services tab. Also, we offer you can find all the books and the curriculum books for the Saudi Board and Fellowship programs, all the guidelines by Wazarat al-Sahha, by NCGC and others. Also, we feature some journals. Currently, we are featuring a page dedicated to COVID-19 resources. So in order to access the advanced search, you have to go through search, and then you just type whatever you want to search for. I'm going to go over this quickly. So the search for the e-library is really advanced. It offers you a number of filters through the document format, dates, sources. Also, you can refine by date, and it gives you a visualization of your results. You could also use the mesh filtering. You could also filter by the type of resource you are looking for. Here you could facilitate the use of the mesh technology for your research. You can refine it using it. It's quite brilliant if you use it for your research. Within the A to Z list, you could filter through the name of the journal. They are alphabetically ordered. You could also filter through the database. So if you choose this filter, you could view all of the journals by Clinical Key, for example, or by NEJM or by Dynamit Plus. This is how you filter through databases. Through the services page, you can find all the other initiatives regarding e-learning or the service for up-to-date. So all trainees from all specialties, they can easily apply to the up-to-date subscription service. They just have to click on the link of services and then up-to-date subscription, and then click here. And after they see this page, they will log in with their trainees' IDs, and they will have a SADAD number just to pay $250. You will get your subscription with up-to-date within 1 week to 2 weeks maximum. During this time of crisis, we are keeping a close eye on the service, and we're making sure that trainees receive their subscriptions as fast as we can, inshallah. So you can find the user guide that will help you with the mesh advanced search and everything. You can find all the instructions for using eLibrary within the About Us page under user guide. If you ever need help, you have problem accessing eLibrary, you have a question, you want to request an access to a certain journal or database, you could log into the support page and just let us know. That's for eLibrary. eLibrary access is available for all trainees through their training number. I will share where you can find the services and access it in the end of my presentation. The second e-learning resource that I would like you guys to take a look at is the e-learning portal. You could log into the e-learning platform by going to lms.saudicommission.org.sa. We offer on-demand e-learning material. We have over 100 e-learning hours, all interactive in different specialties. We have, first of all, and I think most of the trainees are familiar with universal topics. I would like to announce that we redesigned all the universal topics. They are now provided in a very new, interactive, fun, and easy way. I hope all trainees enjoy it. We have many topics about family medicine. They are guided by the Family Medicine Academy curriculum. Everyone can access it. They're on demand, scenario-based, animation videos, all kind of interactive modules. The core topics covers the patient safety, infection prevention and control, code of ethics and communication skills, the SPD, infection and prevention control, and then we have phlebotomy, SPD pediatrics, where we offer topics on pediatrics, and we also offer topics on emergency medicine. So I highly invite everyone to join the infection and prevention control in this time. This course covers all the basic guidelines for infection prevention control, also the guidelines for the times of breakout and for crisis. We are, these are some pages of the course. All trainees, they can access the e-learning platform through the Commission website. Everyone is pre-registered in the service. If you forgot your password or if you did not get it by email, you could just log into I forgot my password. You can either put your email, the email you registered in the Commission for here, and you click on search and you will get a reset email on your email. If you forgot your email or if you don't know what email you use in the Commission, you could just use your ID, your Iqama number, or your password. All the services provided by the Commission you can find in the Commission website under Khadamat al-Mutadarribin or trainee services. This is a screenshot here, the e-learning portal, and if you scroll down, you will find also the e-library. I would like also to let you know that we are going to add one information center for the e-learning portal. It's going to have all the free resources available for COVID-19, for critical care, for airway management, for the community service needed in case of management of breakouts. This page is going to be available on Sunday. We're going to add all the resources that Dr. Amr provided earlier, and along with other resources recommended by specialists from emergency care and critical care and disaster management. They're all going to be available for free. You can use it, and you could also share it with any other medical staff or any other people interested. If you need any help accessing our services, please contact us through elearning@saudicommission.org.sa. We will share all this after the meeting. Also, we will share the links of all the resources, and the page on e-learning resources for COVID-19 will be available, inshallah, on Sunday. Thank you guys so much.
الله يعطيك العافية أخت بشاير. For those of you who couldn't hear or see Ms. Sindus when she was presenting about the time slots and how to book them, please hold on. We're going to repeat that part again.
مساء الخير جميعا. معليش قبل شوي كان في تكنيكال ايرور وما طلع لكم الشير سكرين. الحين بس بتأكد هل هو واضح طالع ولا لسه؟
لا لسه. طيب again stop sharing واحنا بنحطه من عندنا هنا.
طيب الحين
ممتاز. الحين شوفوا ممتاز.
اوكي طيب هذا النموذج احنا بنعلن الاعلان ان شاء الله في السوشيال ميديا وبنرسل لكم اياه على الايميلات. فيه اللي هو الباركود اللي هو يوديكم لللينك هذا لينك نموذج تقديم خدمة الاتصال المرئي لدعم الأنشطة الأكاديمية عن بعد وفرتها الهيئة. طبعا الطريقة هي المدراء البرامج أو أي ممكن ممثلين متدربين أو أي شخص يقدر يقدم الطلب، بس أهم نقطة أنكم تقدمون الطلب قبلها ب24 ساعة أو يفضل قبل علشان يكون في إمكانية أنكم تحجزون سلوتس أكثر. فأهم نقطة عندنا أنكم تدرجون اللي هو اسم مقدم الطلب، البريد الإلكتروني لمقدم الطلب ورقم الجوال، اسم البرنامج ونوع البرنامج مكتمل أو مشترك، والمركز التدريبي، وطبيعة النشاط يكون هاف داي، فول داي، مقابلات شخصية أو إذا كان في أنشطة أخرى، وعنوان النشاط، واليوم المفضل لعقد النشاط، والوقت المفضل. طبعاً إحنا حاطين أوقات مثل ما تشوفون 3 خيارات، بس إذا في وقت معين أو وقت محدد يعني ساعة أو ساعتين تقدرون تضيفونها هنا. وفي هنا اللي هو اليوم البديل والوقت المفضل لليوم البديل نفس الطريقة. طبعاً إحنا أول ما نستلم الطلب نستلمه إن شاء الله على إيميل Virtual.Training، وبإذن الله أول ما نستلم الطلب نرسل لكم إيميل تأكيد استلام الطلب، وبنرسل لكم أيضاً اللي هو الفايلز PDFs How to use Zoom for guest و How to use Zoom for host. والله يعطيكم العافية جميعاً.
يعطيك ألف عافية أخت سندس. If you can, okay, I've received a lot of questions about people wanting to know how to use Zoom for interviews. So here is what I'm offering بعد إذن الدكتور سامي وبعد إذن الأخوات. What I'm offering is I can do a training tomorrow for whoever is interested. If you are interested, just type your email in the question and answer. Type your email in the question and answer, and I will send you an invitation to the webinar that we can do tomorrow evening if you guys are interested, maybe by 4 or 5 p.m. tomorrow. And we're going to talk only about how to use Zoom for interviews. Now, the closing remarks with Dr. Amr. I apologize if I couldn't answer all the questions, but because of time, we have to close now. We can do this again, inshallah, in the near future. Dr. Amr.
طيب شكرا ياسر. Just to يعني final كده comments, tips and tricks. Just remember يعني safety first, the safety of the trainees, safety of the trainers, safety of the patients, safety of the community. However, يعني إذا كان the safety and indicate the social distancing, that does not mean that we have to stop learning. So we have to continue learning, and there are many advantages of the continue learning that will release some of the stress available, so psychological stress on the residents. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. فالمحن تهب لك المنح. So we have to seize the opportunity now with the social distancing, and we could not afford the traditional face-to-face learning activities to utilize the technologies that can be available for us in the long term also. In crisis management, don't be 100% optimum. We have to look for the quick fixes of the current situation. Many of the technologies that we have are not 100% optimum replacement for the face-to-face sessions that we used to. The technology is a tool. It's not a goal by itself. So using the technology is just a tool to solve problems available. If it's not suitable, so we don't need the technology. We don't need that solution as it is. Be proactive. And this is for the trainers and trainees. Don't wait that the كثير ما يبدأ إنه to adopt the technology يقول استنى الهيئة توفر استنى program director يوفر أشوف الريزنس ما تفاعلوا. Be proactive and start and be a champion. If you could not be a champion, look for a champion to adopt the technology and be a role model. All of us, the residents and the trainers, should be a role model. إذا كان واحد يقول إنه تعالوا سووا واعملوا وحطوا مثلا half day release إنه converted to be virtual بس هو ما يحضر ما يشارك, people will also mimic him or her. Explore the available solutions. Many available solutions are very useful in the market. Ask people, look for others and experience. So explore, then try. If you fail, just learn, look for other solutions that you have, look for the others, how did they adopt the technology. All of the solutions training that we have should be or must be trainee-centered solutions available. So involve the trainees from the beginning in choosing and adopting the technology. Choose variant solutions. We addressed that in the presentation at the beginning. We have solutions for the skills, others for the knowledge, others for the activities, others for the assessment. So we have to have variety of solutions, but focus in one solution for each type of modality that you have. So it's not nice or not advisable to have, for example, WhatsApp group and Telegram group and also using chatting within the Google Documents, for example. Focus on one solution adopted for one modality. It's not nice to have a Dropbox and Google Drive to share the materials that you have. It's not nice to have, for example, Zoom, Skype, FaceTime for the webinars and meetings that you have. So focus on one solution for each variant modality that you have. Put a governance. It's not formal policy and procedures, but at least there is a guidance available for the program that identify the role of each participants in the adopting the technology. مين حيحط البوست, مين حيشارك, مثلا إذا كان في case to be discussed in the WhatsApp group, إيش الجدول حيكون. So put a governance for that. Assure the accessibility. إذا نصحت الناس إنه تعالوا to adopt this technology, be sure that it's accessible in time, in place, connectivity, and power. All of that should be secured and available for the trainees. And assure, it's very important, the cyber security. Yesterday, there was some of the hacks available. So the cyber security, and assure there is no any breach of the patient confidentiality. And also, it's very important to be a friend to your IT, your e-learning, your library departments in the institutions that you are in, and also in the Saudi Commission for Health Specialties. They can solve many of the problems that you have. They can ease many of the challenges that you have, and you can find a beneficial support with them. Thank you so much for listening. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن ربنا أن يكشف عنا هذه الغمة بإذن الله. And you are welcome for any question either now or in the future through my emails available over here. Thank you so much.
Stop sharing. طيب, I'll just put the last point on the screen, which is If you give me a second. The last thing I want to do is just I'm going to post on the screen a couple of emails that you can use if you have any questions or concerns for today's meeting or for e-learning support. Otherwise, be safe. Be safe out there. Remember that taking care of yourself is as important as taking care of the others. وأخيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمده أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.